I just want to know this year, how much are you going to do in revenue?
I think we'll sit at like 265, 270.
And how much of that will be net to you?
It depends what you...
No, don't hem and haw. How much of it will be net to you? Just say it.
180 at least. At least. Yeah.
Dude, that's so cool. You've replaced your SaaS income.
I have, yeah.
This is Tyler Mumford. Last year, he was a tech sales guy making $180,000 a year. And then he heard a podcast where me and Chris were talking about starting a stump grinding business. And so he quit his job, bought a machine, and started doing manual labor like a moron. But Tyler is not a moron. In his first 90 days, he did over $30,000 in sales. He didn't look back. And in this episode, we're going to break down how Tyler generated over $270,000 in his first year, netting him more than his sales job with zero boss. We're also going to break down the exact awkward psychology hack that he uses to get hundreds of 5-star reviews, how he ranks #1 on Google Business Profile, even against 20-year competitors, and the exact math behind a one-man blue-collar business. If you're tired of the corporate grind, this is the episode for you. Let's get into it. The cool thing is that you just jumped into it. You heard Chris and I on a podcast talking about it. So we own a tree trimming business, and we had this idea, which was like, I think there could be someone who starts a business grinding stumps, because we trim these trees, and then we've still got to remove the stump. And the homeowner's not happy if the stump's not removed, but we don't have necessarily a reliable sub that we can call out to grind these stumps down. If somebody just contacted tree trimming companies, et cetera, they could definitely launch a business. And so you listened to that. You listened to that episode 10 times in a row, and you decided, I think I could do this.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I heard your guys' story. I had worked on a tree crew in high school, but we never really did removals. It was mostly just trimming. I did know stump grinding existed for the few that we ever did, but I don't think I ever ground a stump myself. It just kind of was one of those moments where I understood what you guys were talking about. I was familiar with trees and a little bit familiar with trees, I guess. I wanted to be an entrepreneur. And then how you guys framed it as like a B2B play, which is really how it started for me. Now I feel like I've evolved past it being a purely B2B play, but that's how it started for the first 6 to 8 months of just purely grinding stumps for tree companies.
What do you think was the biggest differentiator that allowed you to go from zero to replacing your income in about a year?
The biggest one was doing it, being fully focused. I've listened to a lot of different podcasts on focus lately. And I guess lately, when we could talk about this, a few other things that I'm doing now, maybe I'm breaking my own rule of being fully focused. But to get it off the ground, we talk about this a lot. I coach for BYU lacrosse, and we always talk about to the winner goes the spoils. And what we mean by that is the people that work the hardest usually get the most playing time in practice. If you get the most playing time in practice, you improve the most, and you get the most playing time in games, and it's just a self-fulfilling cycle. And I felt the same. You could change that saying a little bit to the risk taker goes the spoils. Because I quit my job, I was able to be at every stump job for tree companies right on time, if not early, do their job in a way that they've never experienced before, having a sub do it with that much attention to detail, text them how the job went and the customer's thrilled, go land other jobs from them, and then also have time to go land more and more and more jobs. And it just started being this flywheel. And now I don't do a lot of cold outreach. I just get tree contractors reaching out to me saying, hey, Jim uses you, you're going to do mine. Is that okay? And yeah, that's perfect. And so,
yeah, we'll double click because you did change your strategy. Like Chris and I had an idea and we're like, oh, we think it could be this. And you launched with that, but pretty quickly you pivoted because you're like, actually the lead flow is better in this area. Yeah. Before we talk about that though, when you launched, you had no experience, right? Is the fact that you needed to be focused, is that why you ended up quitting your job? Because like you could have kind of done this as a side hustle, right? Like you didn't have to quit your job to do this full time. What was the moment where you were like, I should quit, and why?
One piece of it was I wanted to quit. I really wanted to get out and do whatever I was going to do next full time. My job was great and I made good money. I did not like my job though, so I wanted to quit was one of the things. But the other thing was exactly what you're hitting on. I had just no experience in the industry, and after I had that first month of balancing my job and doing it, I realized that if I went full time, I could get a lot better, a lot faster, and have a lot more time in the day to do everything that I had a ton of ideas, but when you're balancing that with a 9 to 5, I only had opportunities to do 1 or 2 ideas a day. The moment I quit, I remember the first day I had a to-do list of like 10 to 15 things. 3 of those things were the 3 jobs that I had for the day. And then the next 10 to 15 were like cold outreach stuff. And I got like most of that to-do list done in that first day. Cold email blast, text blast, all the stuff that I already knew how to do. I just didn't have time when I was balancing both. And so the first day that I quit, I remember being like, oh, dude, I could get a to-do list this long done every day for just the business. And I think that will carry into the bottom line. And that was the risk I took. And it kind of paid off a year later.
What was the strategy that you started with to get jobs? And then what was the strategy that you quickly pivoted into?
So to start, it was cold texting to contractors. I would text them a business card with my info and basically like, hey, what are you doing for Stumps? Are you renting? Are you using someone else or do you own one? And regardless of what they replied back, I would call them from there. Most of those people would say they had some other use. I would call them, and a lot of them I didn't sell, but I would know where they're at with their stump grinding, and they would know me as a familiar face if their stump grinder ever went down, if their guy was ever unreliable. And I've actually gotten a lot of jobs 8 months later after those phone calls because I picked up the phone and called them.
Were there any benefits to those cold calls, like other than getting jobs? Like, was it a way for you to validate the market, or was it a way to what other things did you glean from those conversations?
Every single time that he used a competitor, so like another stump grinding sub, because I'm not unique. Like there's another 5 to 8 guys in my market that do stump grinding, do solely stump grinding. I do think I'm the biggest now, which is kind of cool.
Okay. Gee, you don't have to flex so hard, dude.
Yeah.
I coach BYU and I'm the biggest stump grinder in Provo.
Sorry.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay, brother Mumford.
I need to humble myself. I agree. No, every time they were using a competitor, it was easy. Like I'm decent at building some rapport early in the phone call. And so after I built that rapport, I could ask them anything about their sub and they would tell me exactly how their sub worked. So, hey, yeah, they give us this price per inch, or they usually schedule us only on weekends. And I go, oh, only on weekends. Like, do you want to get paid a little faster than that from the job? Like I could be there an hour after you get the tree down.
You would ask me like, well, what do they charge you?
Yeah, exactly.
How quickly are they getting out?
And I wouldn't do that off the rip. I would try to ask them other questions, just get them talking, do classic sales, build some rapport of like, I'm a normal human being. And then I'd be like, just curious. Like, I think I had a story back then. And if you want to call me a liar, you can call me a liar and I understand. But I said that I just moved from Arizona and I did stump grinding in Arizona. And so I was trying to learn the market. And this did 2 things. One, I mean, I was on a tree crew in Arizona in high school. So like, is that super far from the truth? I don't know, whatever you want to, but this did 2 things. One, they felt like I know the industry. And 2, they were now in the seat to help me out because I was trying to research the market up here in Utah. And they would just start giving me like whatever I asked them, which was awesome.
For people who are listening, I want to like pin that because we're going to come back to it. Tyler's willingness to be awkward and like just straight up ask people like, well, how much money do you make? Well, how big is your house?
I have a huge problem with asking all of those questions, by the way. My friends come over, friends of my wife. My wife has really good friends and their husband will come over and I'm like, oh, what do you do? Oh, cool. Like, what do you make? And then I find myself asking the most personal question. I don't mean it in a bad way. I have no judgment. I just want to know. Like, it's kind of cool. I just want to know what everyone does. And
that's funny.
But some people get rubbed the wrong
way. Pin that. Tyler's willing to be awkward. We're going to come back to that in a second. Okay, so that was the initial thesis. Let me talk to these contractors. What did it morph into?
So the initial thesis for the first 6 months that carried me was just jobs from contractors. And then I did 2 things. Like that was the sole path that I was following for the first 6 months. The winter came, things slowed down. So it gave me an opportunity to work on the business a little bit. And I forked into 2 different ways. One was getting the jobs directly from consumers. There are not as many stump jobs directly from consumers like homeowners, but they do exist, like stumps that were left from a tree that was removed a few years ago, or the tree company just charges them or quotes them way too high. And so I wanted to build my Google side reviews, SEO, all that good stuff. And so what I actually did, I used the list of all the jobs that I did because the contractor would usually give me the number of the homeowner. And I had all the homeowners' numbers saved. So I was like, all right, I need to go get reviews and boost my Google presence. I text blasted all of the homeowners I'd ever done a job for. Like, hey, you don't remember me. I did your stump. I'm starting my own business. A review would really help if you could spare it. And I remember that first day I got like 20 to 30 reviews off of like 2 text blasts. And from there, instantly my SEO was boosted. So this summer, that was kind of the biggest thing I added. I still do contractor jobs. About half and half now are contractor or directly from Google. So that's helped me grow.
So if I go to the old Google and I Google stump grinding Provo, Utah, I get all these stump grinders who pop up. We got
Yep.
Rivendell and Excellent. Psh, dude, how Mormon of a spelling is that?
Yep.
Excellent Brothers.
Yep.
Joe's Stump Grinding, Lifetime. These are all like established businesses, right?
Uh-huh.
Are any of these
Yep.
new?
No, none of those are new, I don't think.
All right, cool. So all these are established. And if you look here, the reason they're showing up first is because sponsored. These guys are
Uh-huh.
paying to pop up in Google's search. If I scroll down a little bit more and I go to finally the organic, so we also get Thumbtack, we get Angie. Organically, Grind Time, which is Tyler's company, is, for those who speak Spanish, numero uno. That means number one. So we got Grind Time showing up number one. Here's the map. And then 104 5-star reviews in a little over a year that you've got. And you're ranking top. So like the Google business profile organically is doing better than pretty much anybody. I mean, Joe's obviously is up there. Some dude named Steve is up there. But these are all, established companies that have been around for
Yep.
years.
Totally.
I want you to talk about because I have this theory that because Google is going more towards AI search,
Yep.
the Google business profile in Maps is becoming even more important because there's not AI there yet. That's just your business. So my question for you is, how did you optimize your Google business profile? Like how are you ranking number one? What did you do?
To be quite honest with you, I paid someone, and that was a great choice early on. It was a friend that ran an SEO agency, and he gave me a great price on it, and was just like, "Hey, can you shout me out when it's
Can you
done?"
tell me
Just
who's your
friend to a
friend?
friend. The company's name is Local Eyes Pro, I want to say.
This wasn't Bodie Gallo's company.
No, not Bodie's.
Okay.
Actually, after working just like with a few months with this guy, I benefit from an industry that is not the most competitive industry and not the biggest. So I mean, it was like after I had like 30 to 50 reviews and he optimized my profile, he actually kind of fired me. And he was like, "Hey man, like you're one in most of the places that you service, and if you just keep getting good reviews, like you're gonna keep boosting." And I'm friends with Bodie. I'm friends with a few SEO guys from Twitter. And all the time when we first get introduced, SEO guys have a bad habit of looking up your Google My Business just right when they meet you because that's like all they think about. They're savages. And each one is like, "Yeah, you don't need my services. You're good."
The reason for that is because you started getting so many reviews.
Correct. After they optimized the first few things with like tags and from what I understand, like a few different backlinks and websites and stuff, the rest of it was just review
Give
getting.
me the secret to your reviews. I love this.
Yeah, so we talked about this, I think, on the YouTube video with you and Chris.
Yeah.
Basically, you could say you don't have leverage when you're an owner operator, which you don't because you're doing most of the things day to day. But the one thing that you do have, which is an advantage over other people that have employees, is you have a care for your business because you're touching like most of the aspects of your business early on. And so you can really benefit from that if you're smart and you care about what you're doing day to day. So what I would do if I'm coming up to your door, Nick, and let's just say you hired Rivendell Trees, you hired them for your tree work and I'm doing their stumps. I don't do their stumps, by the way, so don't. But they hired me out to do your stump. You don't know that they hired me out to do your stump. All you know is that a tree is getting removed in your backyard. I text you, "Hey, I'm the stump guy. I will be there at 3 p.m. tomorrow." I go at 3 p.m., knock on your door. "What's up, Nick? How you doing? I'll be here doing the stump. This is how it's going to go. Here's a few things to watch for. Do you have any sprinkler lines in the area?" They'll say no. And then I'll go do the job. And ideally,
They'll say no. They'll be wrong.
yes, every once in a while
Yeah.
they will be wrong and you'll hit their sprinkler line. That's why you tell them before that I'm not liable for that. No, but then you'll do the job well. And then on the way out, I will knock on your door, be like, "Nick, like, hey, so it's kind of a weird situation. I'm actually a sub for the tree company that you hired. I'm just getting started. Like, I'm young, just got married, and like every review really helps. Like, would you be able to write a review for me?" And then let's role play it real quick. Let's do it. Hey, Nick,
Yeah.
would you be
What's up?
able to write a review for me?
Yeah, sure. I'll write a review. You want me to write the review right now?
Oh yeah, I have a link for you. Can you actually write it right now?
Oh,
It would help me out a ton.
sure. Yeah. Okay. And then I
Yeah,
pull out my
and you
phone.
feel very awkward, and I don't care that you feel awkward because I'm never going to see you again, most likely. But I just got a review from you, and that's what I do every time. I tell them a personal story, which is personal. This is my business. We're growing, and every review helps. Can I please if you felt like I did a good job today, could I get a review from you? And they always go, yeah. And then I just wait quietly until they go,
Oh,
they do that
right
usually. It's
now?
like, oh,
Uh,
like, yeah, could you actually write that right now? That would really help me out. And then they pull out their phone and they usually write me a review right there.
well, okay, yeah, I said it when I've said it multiple times now, but I just love the fact you're willing to be awkward in that moment. Cause like that little, it might be 3 seconds. I don't know. I'd have to go back and time it. Let's say it was 5 seconds of awkwardness probably increases your conversion to reviews by
Yeah.
50%, 80%. Because I might have every intention of leaving you a review. Or like, oh yeah, I'll leave you a review. I don't have a problem with that. But then I get distracted or I go inside or I'm like,
Yeah.
wait, where am I supposed to go? Wait, what's his
Yep.
company name? I don't remember. 50% might even be, too low. Maybe
yeah.
it like increases your conversion by 80% or something ridiculous. But I just think the willingness to stand in there in the awkwardness for an extra 2, 3, 4 seconds.
Yep. And that's what I learned. I think it's an old sales trick. I think people say
Is it?
like, it was something they used to say, the person that talks first after the close loses or something like that. That's probably a bad way to say it. But basically, after you close someone, we do this in door to door. So when you go ask for the card, for them to go get the card, you would look down at your iPad and you wouldn't talk until they either walked away and got their card or like said something
Like their
else.
credit card
To pay for pest control. This was the same thing in tech sales, by the way. You would never close them nearly as aggressively as pest control.
Sure.
But you would close a business on the software that you're selling, and then you would stay quiet on the call until they either gave you a yes, which is awesome, and you're like, okay, perfect, I'll send you the paperwork right now, and let's get that signed, or they would come up with an objection, and then you go to the next.
It's like being on a mission, right? Mormons just learn how to go door to door. Now we'll role play. You'll be the investigator. I'll be the missionary.
Yeah.
Tyler, will you be baptized?
Yeah, I will. Yeah, but there's always a pause.
No. Don't pause. Don't pause. Just
Okay.
Tyler, will you be baptized?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I will. Yeah.
Okay. Go get your white clothes then. See, I paused until you asked so that I could tell you we're just going to go do it right now. My clothes rate would be so much higher.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. No, but there's something there with silence. I did do that on the mission. That is a thing. There's something there with silence and confidence. Because if you flip it, and this is like talking sales, but if I asked, hey Nick, would you mind writing me a review? You go yes, and then I go, oh great, that's perfect, and I just like talk away from that point. We lose the point, and then you forget to do it after. Yeah. But like if you focus on the one point, the thing that you want the most, which is a review from this customer, then you can get it every time. So you have some pause.
I do love that. I love that aspect of it. Okay, I want to show you something. I showed you just briefly, but I think it's amazing. Tyler, as he's been growing, has also started sharing his journey. He's got a good following on Twitter. I don't even know the other channels that you have but I love this. I was looking at stump grinding as a Google search term. This is the last 5 years. And you can see it's pretty steady, pretty cyclical. And then all of a sudden this year, it's the highest it's been in 5 years. Stump grinding.
What month is that? That it was the highest
that it peaked? This is August 24th through the 30th of this year.
I think that's pretty close to right when your guys' YouTube video came out, maybe, or something. I don't know.
Probably, or it's just summer, and then it's an Excel, whatever. So if you look like right here is where Chris and I's episode came out, and Tyler decided, screw it, I'm gonna start a stump grinding business. And then you just see the search volume go up. The even crazier one is I'm going to show you. This is the 20-year history of stump grinding over time, and you just see this year, crazily, the highest it's ever been in the last 20 years, stump grinding. So
that is so crazy.
Isn't that crazy? You're out there sharing your story, and it's like obviously happening. And then at the same time, there's been all these people on Twitter. I call them the stump grinding mafia, who have popped up in like all of these other locations. There's a guy, I think it's in South Carolina. I saw he's like started a business. He's like, I just landed a 30 or 300 Tree City job. And like another guy dozens at this point. It's like, it's above 10 who have started their own stump grinding businesses in these markets. And
I think it's about 20. Yeah.
Is it 20?
I think that I think that number might even be higher. I'm bringing that number down. Like people that have like actually done any sort of revenue from stump grinding, like rented the machine for a day, went and landed a job, and just like were like, that's not for them. That's a lot higher.
Hey, I don't know if you remember this, but when we started this podcast, we entered into a social contract. I would spend time, energy, and money producing this podcast, interviewing these individuals and giving you insights into how to build, buy, start, grow your business. And you would like, subscribe, and leave me 5-star review. Now, out of that, we both get to talk to really cool people and hear really cool insights. We both get a ton of value. But I just want to help you keep your word. So would you do me a favor? Will you go leave a 5-star review for me on Apple or Spotify? It would really help. And if you want, even share this with a friend.
I think it's 15 to 20 guys with like, you could say they have businesses or side hustles, whatever level they're at, but it's about that, I think.
That's freaking nuts.
This is my next project. I haven't done this yet, but I'm trying to get the aggregate revenue across all, let's bring it back to summer sales, all of my downline revenue. Not that I take any sort of percent, but I'm gonna find my downline and figure the aggregate revenue.
All of your downline revenue. That's pretty great.
It's
You've
awesome.
got your downline stump grinding business.
Exactly.
I want to find where is it? Stump grinding mafia. Here it is. I only have 10 members, but right now
there's more too that don't post on Twitter. Like I get hit up from Instagram and other places, and then I'm going to try to aggregate a list. But yeah, there's at least 10 to 15 on Twitter that like post about what they're doing.
And I'm sure there's more. There's just the 10 that I've put together, but
yeah.
And here's the guy, North Carolina State Parks guy.
Yep.
Mike Compton, obviously you, this Owen land clearing business who still doesn't follow me. It's not like I care. I don't care.
That hurts. Owen, follow him, dude.
Luke. Anyways, like these guys have like actually started real businesses grinding stumps, and they're making real money. I have this feeling about entrepreneurship, which is just getting in the game. It exposes you to other opportunities. And so many times you get into the game of entrepreneurship and it's like the thing that you're doing today isn't necessarily the thing you'll be doing in 5 years, but the skill set you're developing today will be the skill set that you're utilizing in 5 years to kind of accelerate you. Something that's interesting about growing in public though, is you start getting a bunch of people hit you up who are like, hey, how do you do this? Hey, how do you like start a stump grinding business? Or, hey, you bought a business. How do I buy a business? And at first you think I'll help as many people as I can. And then it's like, it's just too much. Did that happen to you?
Yes. After the first podcast with you guys, I got hit up so much on Twitter. Every single person, I gave them my phone number because I don't know. I just believe in helping people, especially people that are out of my market. Like I'm like, yeah, it doesn't hurt me to help you. So like I might as well. And then I remember I spent a week on the phone, like literally all of these calls were like a half hour to an hour helping guys answer questions. And I realized I was answering the same questions over and over again. And so
wait. So like just a week? You're like literally just on the phone for a week talking to people about stump grinding.
Yeah, I mean, it was in between jobs. It was fitting it where I could, right? It wasn't my priority.
Were you thinking like, oh, I'll help them out and partner with them? Like, oh, they'll start a stump grinding business in North Carolina and I'll be an equity partner in that? Or like, was it anything like that?
The first 10 guys that hit me up, 10 to 20 probably calls that I had were like completely free value. You hit me up. I was new. I had just been tweeting for a few months. You guys put your podcast episode out. I was like, oh, this is like cool. But it's attention. It was fun at the beginning. You know what I mean? Because I was putting content out. And so I was like, oh, I'll help people. And I didn't have any plan.
It's hard though, because you want to pay it forward, right? You want to be like helpful to other people. And then you're like,
you have a post on this that I love. Yes. I think I saw it on LinkedIn. It's a post on this specifically where people asking to pick your brain makes you feel like the bad guy because you want to help. Like I want to help people genuinely, like I actually do. But then I've realized that if you just spend a week on the phone helping other people in different markets, my stump grinding business made no jumps in that whole week. And so it's like, what am I doing with my time? And so you have to actually start being smart about how you help people.
It's hard. I hate saying no. Like I do want to help as many people as I can. And then you get in this like weird spot where you start feeling like, maybe I should take equity in their business. I don't really want to take equity in their business. Maybe I should launch a course. I don't really want to like be a course seller. Maybe I should do like there's like all these other ways that you could do it to like monetize your time. It would be easier for me because I don't have a thing at the moment, right? Like I'm just dicking around. You have a company and it's like, if I spend any time away from going and doing jobs, that's lost revenue for me. So an hour on the phone with one person could have been a $500 job. Like there's a real opportunity cost to taking that phone call. And I know you and I've talked about this. Like, I know you've dabbled in either courses or playbooks, or I can't remember or communities. Tell me what you're doing.
At this point, currently, all we do is a playbook, and it's a PDF. It's about 85 pages, single space. I typed it. There's no chat GPT in the whole thing. Yeah, I promise you could scan the whole
Really?
thing. There's no chat GPT. Now, chat GPT did some editing, but I'm talking editing for grammar,
Yeah.
not for content. Everything is out of my brain and my experience of just how to get a stump grinding company off the ground. This is where I had to sit down with myself and ask, what do I want? Because you listed all the ways that you could go after you start getting a following. You could do courses, you could do blah, blah, blah. I want to have a good stump grinding business. That's the part I like doing the most. I like posting to Twitter the second most. I don't like worrying about people being like successful when it's not my business, if that makes sense. And so I want to give people all the information that they would need to start it. And then it's completely up to them to go start it. There's no reoccurring fee. There's nothing. You just buy the playbook once and my number's in the playbook. That's kind of how I started narrowing the funnel down. Because if you
Right.
buy my playbook and you read through the whole thing, you're going to have more questions, but they'll be deeper questions. They're not like, how do I cold text tree contractors? I don't want to answer that for you. Like, it's pretty easy. It's a few softwares. You can go figure that out through my playbook. But if you ask a deeper question about the business, that's the stuff I get more excited to riff on. And then we could talk on that. So anyways, that's how I've kind of progressed with my content.
How long did it take you to create the playbook?
Typing at a desk, it took me 42 hours.
Jeez.
Of typing and editing.
How many have you sold or given away?
I've sold a couple hundred, I want to say. I started them at 150, and then now people hit me up because some of the OG podcasts I was on, I said there was 150. Now I've seen it work very well for people in a way that they make really good money. So I was like, I am going to raise the price on this. That's full transparency. It's what I did, and I've tweaked things and added things as it's gone, but now it's 359. My whole thing on that is my average job is about 250 to 300 on this whole calendar year. So if you land 2 stump jobs, you'll pay for the playbook.
One thing people are like, oh, freaking course sellers. So on the one hand, it's like, yeah, if you're independently wealthy, you can give away playbooks like that.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into accumulating the knowledge that you did. So I have no problem with.
And at the beginning, I was worried that the knowledge was good or not. So I had a low price because I was like, I actually don't know if this is repeatable in other markets. I really don't know.
Like, oh,
but now I've seen it happen. I'm like, dude, if you follow the steps and there's no one doing it in your market like this, you will be successful. I don't know how successful, but.
Did you have people who were like, hey, partner with me in, I don't know, Abilene, Texas, or like, oh, Tyler, will you partner with me in Mobile, Alabama? Like, was that happening?
I've had that, and I've had asks about franchising. Both those things, I don't know. We could go a long story on these things and how I think about it. Yeah. I don't know if the juice is worth the squeeze on those things. And I don't really want to partner with random people that I don't know, especially if there's any money investment involved. If you're just asking me for time for a piece of your company, I'd be happy to do that. But am I going to invest in you in your market when I don't know your work ethic or things? Those are the things that make me hesitate.
Did writing the playbook help you with your own SOPs?
Yes, 100%.
Isn't that crazy?
I don't believe my business is like crazy sellable in the sense that I will get multiples on revenue in my business. But I do believe that with the playbook and some of the SOPs that I had to write because I wanted to sell them to people online that were interested, I believe that it put my business in a place that it's more sellable. Like I might be able to get like 1x revenue or something like, you know what I mean? Or like a seller note on something like that if I ever wanted.
How many pages is the PDF?
It's like 80 something, 85.
That's a long PDF.
It's thorough.
I mean, you start thinking about things that you don't even think about in the beginning. You're like, all right, well, and you may or may not have these things. So you can tell me if you don't. It's like, oh, what do I use for my CRM? How do I follow up with people? Oh yeah, what do I use to track my jobs? How do they integrate with each other? I don't have payroll, but I do have billing. What do I use for my accounting? Do I have insurance or do I not have insurance? It is stump grinding. Crap, I had a sprinkler. And then it's like every time that a crazy thing happens, you're like, file that away, update the playbook. So when you sit down to write all your SOPs, you have all of that information that you didn't necessarily think that you had. And you're looking at it and you're like, I can't shorten this. Like there is a lot of information in here.
I thought at the beginning of that week, it was going to be about 20 pages. And then I started writing. And as you write, you just get more ideas and what to write next. the stuff that you listed, the broad business stuff that you could kind of learn everywhere, I probably have about half of that that's specific to stump grinding. Insurance, some of the CRM stuff, what I've done with a few different Google Sheets for cold texting and tracking jobs and a few other things. And then the rest of it is just stump grinding specific. What kind of machines, what kind of trailers, what do guys say
Yeah.
on Facebook groups about what's the best setup? Here's how to land jobs. Here's where to start when you start grinding a stump. Do you go roots first or do you go trunk first? Like all this stuff that just I learned really slowly that you can read really quickly. And I think there's value in that. Now I would pay, just yesterday, this is so random, but just yesterday, I'm running this little Amelia Swedish candy. It's my wife's Swedish candy business. I've tweeted about it a few times, but I connected with the guy on Twitter. His name's the Food Truck Bro. I DM'd him and I was like, dude, I need help landing corporate events. That's what we're focused on right now. And he's like, that's actually all I do. Let's hop on a call and we'll figure out some consulting. He'd never done consulting before. I paid him $50 for an hour, and in the future I'll pay him. And no joke, it was the best hour I've ever paid for of time. Best $50. I would have paid like $400 for the information that he gave me. And that's the power of like courses or one-on-one coaching or whatever.
So the 180 that you netted, is that inclusive of like any info that you sold or exclusive?
It's inclusive of that.
Inclusive. Yeah. Okay.
Yep. The bump on that wasn't super high. I could get the number, but it was.
But it was something.
Know. Yeah, it was something.
It was something.
Mm-hmm.
And it added real value. Like you couldn't
totally.
You couldn't hop on hundreds of phone calls to then give the information that all those people got that you sold the playbooks to, which is really cool. Anyways, this is not an infomercial for Tyler's Playbook. I personally find the info stuff really interesting because I just run into that all the time where people are like, hey, I heard you did a podcast on this, or hey, I heard you had experience here. Can we hop on a call and I could pick your brain? And it's like, no, I really don't. I get hundreds of DMs like that a week. I don't have the time, but then I feel guilty that I don't have the time. And so I'm like, could I create like a little, I don't know, playbook? And I haven't, but I totally get it.
My thought on just the whole thing as a whole is info businesses that are purely info businesses, I don't love. If my playbook stopped selling for eternity tomorrow, it wouldn't affect anything I'm doing, and I would stay doing the same thing that I've been doing every day. If
that's interesting. Info products as a supplement to a real business, as opposed to info products being the real business.
Yeah. And there's exceptions. There's people that do info businesses great and really help people. For me, though, that's where I feel most comfortable is running a real business, helping people on the side as a supplement to that real business.
Chris has started doing more info, like more of an info business. It's kind of it's an interesting hybrid in the sense that the info that he's selling has been generated from all of his experience. So he's like, I'll show you how to start a business, or I'll show you how to join my community and I'll do X, Y, and Z. But it's all coming from real experience. And like, I've known that dude for 20 years. I did a post recently on this. I've seen that guy fail so many times. So when I see him post about something that's like, hey, this works, this doesn't work, he's speaking his own book. He's not just like, theoretically, this should work. Like, I mean, people like you, right? Launch real businesses. Like you launched a real business because of an idea that we kind of debated, but.
Well, and Chris is not successful off of info, by the way. Like Chris is wildly successful way before info. And now he's like, yeah, I'm helping people because I'm already pretty successful he could list 4 or 5 ventures that were wildly successful for him. And that's a whole different play than a 22-year-old rolling out an info course that's never done anything else. There's some judgment there because I don't know if that's the most ideal way to do info, but I respect
the hustle. I respect the hustle.
Totally.
But
yeah, absolutely.
All right. So last thing, again, I think getting into the game of entrepreneurship, opportunities present themselves like this, playbook opportunity, probably other affiliate type of relationships, et cetera. The fun one though, is you're kind of pivoting and you and your wife are starting a candy business. Makes total sense.
Yeah, total. You go Stumps and then candy, and then I don't know where you go from there. I mean, who hasn't done it, right?
Who hasn't? We've all been there.
Yeah. So long story short, after about a year of watching me do what I've been doing, my wife is the most incredible, supportive, awesome human being that has ever existed on this earth. There was no hesitancy when I told her that I thought it was a good idea to leave my job and go grind stumps. There's nothing. She just has full trust in me, and it means the world, and it's going to help me be successful in life. But watching me do that for a year, she was also in a corporate job. She ran like event marketing for a big tech company. So she planned all their like conferences and events and different things. And she saw kind of the improvements that my life went through by just enjoying my day-to-day life the way I do. And so she kind of wanted to I follow in those footsteps. And for me as well, I had proved to myself that I could get something off the ground and make it successful. So I was like, all right, we could go try something else together. I say together, she probably does about 70% of this business and I'm there helping for the 30%.
What's it called?
It's called Amelia's Swedish Candy. So what we do is we are the first ever a mobile Swedish candy store. Imagine here's the Instagram. So it's
Dude,
a
this is
19
so sweet.
it's a
Pun intended.
1960
So sweet.
Yeah, it's so sweet. So it's a 1962 Volkswagen Transporter with a truck bed.
Oh my
And
gosh.
on the back, we built out a full candy store, just like that. So you come up, you scoop your bag of candy. It's all Swedish candy that we import in from Sweden. And then if you're at a public facing event like a farmer's market, you
Is this your
will.
wife?
That's my wife. Yeah.
You're married to what's her name? Sabrina Carpenter?
Sabrina
Like, what?
Carpenter. Yeah. Yeah.
The freak?
She looks very similar. And yeah, then you'll weigh and pay if you're at like a public facing event. We also do weddings and corporate events where they prepay for a certain amount of candy, and we show up and provide an awesome candy store experience.
Oh my gosh. So do you have, these are my favorite. They're the sour belts. Do you have the sour belts?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, they could be rainbow ones. It could be watermelon, strawberry.
Yeah, we got
sour
multiple
apple
kinds.
I'm a candy connoisseur. I'm very picky. And many times, are you a candy connoisseur?
I'm a candy connoisseur, but first I'm going to need your address for a really, really good mix of candy that I can provide. And I promise that it will be an incredible mix of candy because I am also a sour candy connoisseur.
Dude, okay, here's why I love this. For people who don't know, the cookie companies.
Yeah.
Chip, Crumble,
yeah.
whatever, those started in Utah. There is a soda company called Swig where you can go and get like Suicide, basically, all those sodas mixed together, started in Utah. The reason they started in Utah is because Mormons don't drink.
Nope.
No, they're not addicted to alcohol. They're addicted to sugar. And
severely.
So they've got all kinds of sugary treats to fill that, alcohol spot. And you have essentially done, you're like, okay. Soda's taken, cookies are taken. What about candy? Can we do something with candy? Dude, and this looks so good, dude.
Yeah. And so Swedish candy is like very trend. Yep.
They're there, the belts.
Yeah. Yeah. She just used that as the cover.
Yeah,
those are always, those will get you the cover
Dang
photos.
She got me.
100%. Yeah, no, it's been an amazing ride so far. So just some of the things I've tweeted about this a little bit. So I'm happy to talk some of the things that we've done so far. We have, done quite a few weddings, corporate events, done a lot of farmers markets and pop-ups with boutiques in the area because there's plenty of cute boutiques in Utah. And then we now do all of the BYU football games. We're in the stadium, which is amazing. We do the BYU basketball games. We do women's soccer games. We do all BYU sports.
Wait, so did you like win those contracts or is it just like, yeah, you can come? Like, how did? Okay.
No, we won the contracts. Yeah.
All right. There's a million questions I have. Let's put this to the side. We'll talk about this another time.
That'll be another great episode.
Whet my appetite.
Yes.
When did this launch?
August.
Okay. So between August and now, how much have you done in revenue?
I need to check that. Once again, this is my 30%. She runs the spreadsheet, but I want to say it's about 60 or 70K.
That's amazing, man. That's amazing. My only advice on this business is it looks amazing. I'm sure the quality is amazing. Just stay very particular about quality.
Yeah.
Right? Like just make sure the quality is really good and make sure that this content, you're always putting out content because this is a distribution game.
Yeah.
And if you can get your content out there and people knowing about your brand, then you have distribution and you're going to win. I can see you're building a distribution. So it's great.
That's the goal. Yeah. The goal is to ideally supplement. So building an events business, it's very hard because you have to go and just say yes to every single public facing event you possibly can. And some are hits and some are huge misses. And it's a lot of time spent doing that. And so our goal is to ideally be mostly corporate events and weddings, supplemented with a few big public facing events, and then do some online sales is our goal. So that's my winter project.
Alex Nelson, the wedding venue guy?
Yeah.
I could see a marriage here, dude. Like just partnering with wedding venues, like you're just their candy go-to?
Totally. That's my winter project is the B2B sales that I did in my job before stump grinding, in stump grinding, and now in candy, all those same skills will translate to you just need to find the right avatar and go build that
Bro.
thing out.
Dude, okay. So like wedding venues make a killing on alcohol.
Yeah.
Like that's where like the majority of their margin comes in, is on alcohol sales. And you're in Utah, you're not getting a lot of alcohol at venues, but you could be getting a lot of candy.
Yeah, 100%. It's an awesome fit at weddings because we kind of fit this weird spot where we're a sugar. So we're the sweet treat, which is awesome, but we're also an experience and something that's very cute at the wedding, all mixed in one. Usually you have your cute decor,
Yeah.
and then you have an experience, and then you have a sweet treat, all three separate things. We kind of hit all of that in one little mobile thing, which is kind of
Dude,
cool.
and if you kind of just tacked on a photo booth to the car,
yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, hey, take a picture with the car or in the car or whatever.
Well, they have those VW bus photo booths too. We were thinking about like doing the same.
What are we freaking talking about? All right, dude, where's the best place for people to come find you if they want to come check
Find
you
me on
out?
X. Okay. Ideally, X is the best, at Stump Guy Ty. You can find me on LinkedIn as well, Tyler Mumford, and then my Instagram, Tyler Mumford as well. My Instagram's more personal though. So the business stuff, I post 3 times a day on Twitter and have a lot of fun on that app. So
I love this, man. This is fantastic. I'm going to come down to Utah. I want to come. You got to come show me around the sugar bus. All right. Hopefully you liked that episode. And if you've made it this far, you're either really committed or you're stuck doing yard work and you can't actually skip on your phone. So while I have you, the show is growing, but I have a favor to ask of you. Will you please help me grow the show? I want to reach more people. There's a couple things that you can do. Like and subscribe is the simplest thing. Obviously, you want to get notifications for when the next episode is coming out. But if you go the next step, will you leave me a review? 5-star on Spotify or Apple. What that does is it tells the algorithm that, oh, hey, this is a high value podcast because more people are leaving reviews for it. And it then pushes it out to more people. So that's why when people are like, will you like and subscribe and put a 5-star rating? It's not just to make themselves feel better. It's actually to get more exposure for the show. So if you do that for me, I would greatly appreciate it. And I'll see you next time.